I have COVID. I am 22 years old and I've been vaccinated once with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. I wanted to share my experiences with Covid-19 in 2022. Today is the 4th day after discovering I have COVID, but I want to speak about my experiences throughout the whole process. The first moment that I noticed something was wrong was the day before I realised I actually had COVID. I've had a cold since New Year's basically, but it has been getting better, albeit very slowly. But all of a sudden, I felt like I was being thrown back into my cold. I could barely keep myself from coughing the whole time. My nose felt like it was about to explode. Either that, or it felt like I was about to get a really strong nosebleed. But I never get nosebleeds, so that was very strange for me. I thought the best thing to do was just get an early night. I'll be fine in the morning, so that's what I did. But I woke up feeling terrible. So what I did is I went into work and I told my colleagues, I can tell there's something wrong with my body. I will not be able to work as fast as I normally do. Please be aware of that and give me a break. And I thought, oh, I'll just take a COVID test just in case. Not actually thinking I had corona, but you can never be too careful. I got changed to go to work, looked back at my tests, realised I was positive. I informed everyone at work and I was told to go to a corona test centre and take a PCR test and then go home and await my results in quarantine, so that's what I did. Because of my cold, I have spent a lot of my time coughing anyway, to the point of gagging, which meant that when I was having my PCR test done, they were sticking this probe down my throat and I just could not stop gagging. It was really difficult to control myself and it was a very unpleasant experience. I do think it's very important to have done it, but it's not the most enjoyable memory that I ever have had. My symptoms on that day were when I coughed, I got an incredibly intense headache, but the second I stopped coughing, it went away. It felt like almost I was coughing with my brain. That evening I went home and I did everything I could to not have a headache. If I tied my hair up too tight, I could feel myself getting a headache. If I looked into bright lights, I could feel myself getting a headache. Really, basically if I did anything, I felt like I got a headache. So again, I just went to bed and hoped for the best. I woke up the next day after my PCR test and my headache had gone and I feel so lucky for that. I had real trouble eating. If I ate anything, I could taste it, it tasted great, I could smell it, smelled great. I would feel so sick afterwards. It doesn't matter how healthy I ate, how much I ate, how little I ate, I would feel sick, guaranteed, for about an hour afterwards. So I tried to really not eat as much as I could. About halfway through the day, I received my PCR test results and that of course was positive. Again, no surprise, I went to bed early. I woke up and my stomach problems were gone. I no longer felt sick after I ate. But the next day I had an even weirder symptom, which I associated with COVID even less. I had extremely weird, intense aches in my legs. It was almost as if I had been sitting on a long car ride, unable to move my legs for 2 days or something like that. And I just felt cramped up. I never felt comfortable, I was always fidgeting and it was just really uncomfortable. I could not concentrate on anything else and it didn't matter how much I got around and moved around the house or did some stretches or some exercise, it just would not go away. In addition to that, I also had a light runny nose which started around this point, but it wasn't anything too intense. Maybe once every hour I had to blow my nose, but I was able to continue with my day-to-day life. One other unpleasant symptom which I got around this point was a very distinct metal taste in the back of my throat, almost as if there was a constant flow of blood in my mouth. Obviously there wasn't, but it really wasn't very pleasant, and that was one of these symptoms which unfortunately did not go away after a good night's sleep and I am still experiencing, so yes. It is now the 5th day after experiencing the first symptom. My cramped legs have gone, thank goodness. My symptom of the day is I cannot smell anything. I can taste, but everything tastes a little bit less intense and I can taste more on the sweet side of things. I will record again in a few days and keep you up to date with anything new that's going on with my body. Hi. So I am happy to say that this is going to be a shorter part of the video than I anticipated. It is now the 10th day of quarantine, and I was going to record again and keep you updated on all the symptoms I'd gone through since the last time I filmed, but luckily for me, that night they all went away and in the morning I felt fine, perfect, completely normal. I've done a lateral flow test today and I am negative. Woo! Finally. The only thing I still notice is when I move around and get out of breath, my breathing feels and sounds very hoarse, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was the leftover from my cold that I had before COVID and not COVID itself. Some other things that I wanted to talk about, which aren't technically symptoms but are still things to be aware of, are just the effects of quarantining. If you have a garden or a balcony, you are very lucky. I live in a shared flat and my space, if you will, is just one room. When I look out of my window, I can only see other buildings, so for 10 days I haven't seen anything further away from me than a couple of meters, and I really feel like my eyesight has suffered for that. I am hoping it's not permanent, but I know the second I get out of quarantine I'm going to spend lots of time outside in the sun or in the rain if it's raining, I don't care, and just looking at things far away and trying to be in natural light to regain my eyeball capabilities. Also, maybe an obvious thing, it really is very isolating. I'm very lucky because I live in a shared flat, so I will never be completely alone. However, it does take a toll on your mental health to be separated from your friends, your family, your partner, your loved ones, and just being stuck in your room on your own. And it can be really tough to keep your head up and remain positive. I am also the sort of person that when I get bored, I start to get sad and other negative emotions creep in. So it was really important for me to make goals every day, try to achieve them and keep myself busy. I recommend if you're about to go into quarantine that you set yourself a few goals if you are physically able to, so that at least there's some positivity in your life. Try to arrange calls with your friends and let them know what's happening. And just know that it's not permanent, it's not forever. 10 days can be a very long time, but it will come to an end eventually and you will be healthy again and there is light at the end of the tunnel. I hope you are all doing well, and I hope the ones of you who have corona are experiencing the mildest symptoms possible. I don't suppose anyone enjoys talking about COVID, but I hope this video helped to inform you about what corona can look like in 2022. Anyway, I'm Jess. See you around.